Welcome to the Explainer. If you're the kind of focused learner who loves extracting hard-hitting facts from totally unexpected places, you are absolutely in the right spot today. We are going to be digging into some genuine, real-world marine biology hidden right inside a popular animated kids show. So you might be wondering, can cartoons actually teach real marine biology? It's super easy to just assume that animated children's shows are entirely made up of fictional monsters and wacky, impossible storylines, right? Well, today we're going to analyze the dialogue straight from the hit show Octonauts to uncover the very real, highly accurate biological science embedded within its stories. As you'll see, right beneath the fun submarine chases and quirky characters, there is a remarkably accurate lesson in marine life just waiting for us to discover. Section 1. Science Hidden in Cartoons. Now let's move right into Section 2, Orcas, and the power of the pod. Okay, let's dive into this. In our source material, the characters are out exploring the ocean when they encounter a truly fascinating marine mammal, the orca. And the show brilliantly introduces a crucial survival mechanism by defining what a pod is. They explain it as a group of orcas that stick together, helping each other through thick and thin. And you know what? That is entirely scientifically accurate. Orcas are highly social creatures. They don't just wander the vast ocean all alone. They literally travel, hunt, and survive together in these tightly knit family groups. Moving on to Section 3, Squid versus Octopus. So the story here kicks off when the cruise ship is suddenly grabbed by what they initially fear is some kind of giant sea monster. But Professor Inkling, who actually happens to be an octopus, quickly realizes that those marks on the hull were made by his relative, Cousin Irving, who is a giant squid. By introducing them as cousins, the show gives us this brilliant framing of the real, actual evolutionary relationship between these two famous cephalopods. Now, the most obvious difference between the two is scale. As Professor Inkling notes in the show, I'm small and he's big. To put that into perspective, this massive size disparity is exactly why the crew panicked in the first place and assumed they were under attack. But, as we'll see, the biology here goes much, much deeper than just their size. And this brilliantly illustrates how, despite that enormous size difference, both creatures share incredible, identical biological defenses. They both feature arms totally lined with suckers, which, by the way, explains exactly how the squid managed to grab the ship, and they both share a super famous defense mechanism, squirting ink when they feel scared or threatened. So what's the evolutionary purpose of this? Well, it's simple. To quote the show directly, the ink allows us to run away and hide without being seen. It's literally a smokescreen. It's not an aggressive attack at all. The squid was simply startled by the submarine and used its natural biology to safely hide. Now, what's really interesting about this next bit is how the giant squid is perfectly adapted to its deep-sea environment. To survive down there, it features some extreme biological traits. We are talking about having the biggest eyes of literally any creature in the entire ocean, alongside an incredibly acute sense of smell. And these aren't just random trivia facts. They directly influence exactly how the creature behaves. You see, a giant squid lives way down in deep, dark underwater caves. It uses those massive eyes specifically to see in the pitch black. And that amazing sense of smell? Well, the characters actually use this exact science to locate the squid. They bake a batch of fish biscuits, and the squid smells them from a distance and comes right over to investigate. It is a perfect demonstration of biology in action. The source material goes even further, too. It builds out this biological family tree by specifically name-dropping other scientifically accurate, highly specialized relatives. At one point, the professor flips through a family photo album and points out the blue-ringed octopus and the firefly squid. By including these real-world species, the story completely widens our understanding of just how incredibly diverse the cephalopod family truly is. All right, Section 4, the gentle filter feeders. Later in the material, our characters are dealing with an underwater tremor when they suddenly bump into a whale shark. Now, naturally, whenever we hear the word shark, our immediate instinct is fear, right? But the show steps in to teach a really valuable real-world lesson. This massive ocean dweller is completely harmless. It absolutely doesn't bite. So the crucial point is, if it doesn't bite, how exactly does it eat? Well, it's a filter feeder. This means it doesn't use teeth for hunting. Instead, it simply opens its giant mouth and swallows tiny food that's just suspended in the ocean water right in front of it. By breaking down this feeding mechanism so clearly, the show totally replaces our instinctual fear of a giant shark with pure, fascinating scientific understanding. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Conclusion, oceans of knowledge. From the complex social dynamics of an orcapod all the way to the biological defenses of cephalopods and the fascinating feeding habits of the whale shark, the educational value we've extracted from this single piece of media is just astounding. And it really leaves us with a provocative thought, doesn't it? If a cartoon can teach us this much, what other incredible creatures are waiting to be discovered out there in the deep ocean? The natural world is vast, it's largely unexplored, and it's relentlessly fascinating. Brilliant, real-world science is hiding literally everywhere in the media we consume. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep learning.